Ready for the drop? Boom, 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 boom. Hey, folks. I hope you got that drop. I hope, because that was a pretty legendary drop. If you didn't get that drop, you should go back and listen to it. Okay, under test runner, no. How about services? Services, do we have where? Where is Cucumber / Gherkin? No. It's not in the reporters, I know that for sure. Frameworks? Frameworks. I bet it's under frameworks, because that's a framework. Okay, so I love using Mocha. It's my favorite, but some people out there are not, well, I don't want to say they're not crazy about Mocha. Maybe they're crazy about Mocha, but they also are interested in this thing called Cucumber. Now, you may ask yourself, why would I be interested in Cucumber? Timing is just perfect on that. Okay, so here's why. If I go to my test file, this is a little boilerplate that you can check out. And again, say hi. Say hi in my chat room if you have just joined or have been lurking along. I'm happy to have y'all listening. And it can be either be hi in Gitter or hi on Twitch if you have a Twitch account. Okay, so support. Let's see. I've never looked in here. So let's see what this spec looks like. That wasn't what I was thinking. This looks a lot like Mocha, even though it's a Cucumber boilerplate. So what's up with that? What is up with that? This is what I really think is cool about Cucumber, is this Gherkin syntax. Gherkin. How do you pronounce that? I would like to know. Hey, Jankcat. That's a cool name. Jankcat. I like that name. That's good. That's an in-your-face name. It's good. Okay. Hello. Welcome. So this is Gherkin. It is a non-WebdriverIO thing. It's a testing thing, and it's for writing specs. Specs being specifications, otherwise known as like requirements or things like that. So here's an example. We defined a feature, the refund item feature, so you should be able to refund an item. So in this scenario, Jeff returns a faulty microwave. He has bought a microwave for $100, and if he has the receipt, when he returns the microwave, then he should be refunded $100. So this is a really nice syntax for kind of readable tests. Readable, that's the word I'm going for. Compared to, you know, what we're used to, which is like describe blah blah blah, it should do blah blah blah, which I'm fine with. I can understand that, but people who may not be as experienced, or as, I hate to say experienced because that would imply that I have experience. I'm not experienced, so Gherkin is, I thought kin was like siblings. Kin definition. Gherkin. You should say it with a good, like, get that R in there. One's family and relations. His wife's kin to his brothers. I guess. Kindred. Yeah, you can go with your kids, I guess. Descended from a Okay. I had a website called rkith.com. I don't think it's, I'm not even gonna open it, but it was rkith.com, and it was like a group blog thing back in the days. It is not a thing anymore. I lost it, but anyway, I was talking about Gherkin. Why do I have to say that with like a terrible accent? Gherkin is also known as cucumber. A gherkin is a type of cucumber, hence the name Gherkin for cucumbers. And anyway, it can help you write your test in a little bit more human readable format. That's what I was going for, human readable format. So that's what that is. That's why you would want to do it. And let's see how we would get it done. So this is a more WebdriverIO specific format, which is I've got my feature. My scenario is I should check the title of the website after the search, or I think check title of website after search. Maybe more behavior driven would be it should have the right title, or should be titled well. So given I open google.com, when I set WebdriverIO in the input field, blah blah blah, and I press enter, then I expect that the title is something readable or something that makes sense. And then I have another test here. So we can do that. We can do that with WebdriverIO. So I think what I'm going to do is come in here. I'm gonna clone this boilerplate because I was going to start with my WebdriverIO stable branch, but I don't want to do that anymore. I want to just git clone, because that's how I clone things. Let that load and then jump into Cucumber boilerplate, and then I'm going to do an npm install because I need to get all the dependencies in place. Got quiet for a minute. The other half of Gherkin is you got that syntax. So how does it know what you're going to be doing? And the way you do that is you create these, let's see, CucumberJS. You create these definitions. So you have your features and you have your definitions. So your features are step definitions. Those are your definitions. Your features are the given, when, and then these are the definitions that you define. So here's your human readable syntax. Then the response status is, and then you have a regex right here. And it takes this regex that you provide, and you can provide multiple regexes. So here, and I guess here, file name and callback, then the file name. So you take the status and you do your assertion inside of there. When I view my profile, this one doesn't have anything. It's just a plain like action. So you're converting this human readable text to an actual WebdriverIO action, which I think, what do they use for their driver? They use Selenium WebDriver, which is cool. It's a cool thing. I'll give it that. But in our WebdriverIO Cucumber boilerplate, I'm trying to find. So I got my features, action check. So these are everywhere we define check element exists. This doesn't seem right. This just doesn't. Okay, I know what's. I think I know what's going on. These tests are for. I don't know what's going on. There we go. This is what I wanted. The tests were for this source. I'm so used to test being the test directory, and it is a test directory, but when you have tests inside your test, it doesn't make any sense. So you've got your features here. We're going to have a cookie feature. So test the existence and content of cookies. As a developer, I want to be able to oh, they got existence right there. Just misspelled it there. I could see a pull request. I love fixing typos in pull requests. It's so much fun. So background, this is like a before each or before call. And then you'd say, given, I open this site, and then I wait for half a second. Then the cookie test should exist. So I expect the cookie test to exist. So here we have kind of a parameter that we pass in, an argument that we pass in into the I expect that the cookie test exists. So where is this defined? It is in our, not in our features. Where's it defined? In our steps. Features and steps. Then, given, then, when. Maybe it's in when? Whoa. So these are all in support. I've never looked in here. So this is kind of interesting. They just define a bunch, like this is all the translations. So this is a translation from human readable to code function that we want to run. So in here we want set cookie, or let's just search for cookie. Cookie, delete cookie, set cookie. Those are it. I set the cookie. Oh, that's when I set the cookie. Then we also, then is like the assertion that you want to make. So we got check cookie exists. So I expect that cookie, and then here's that regex, and then you have an optional not to invert it, and then here's the other regex. So if I were to look for check cookie content, I would expect that it has 3 parameters in that function. The first is going to be the name of the cookie, whether you've inverted it or not, and then the value of that cookie. So let's go back to, I think I can find it. Under support, there's going to be a cookie file, I'm going to say. Under check, let's say it's under check. If you're just joining, say hi in the chat room. I'd love to hear you say hi and how you pronounce Gherkin or Gherkin or Gherkin, like a cucumber. You have a Gherkin. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. Okay, so I've got a, oh man, I called it, but I didn't call it correctly because done is not the one I was thinking about. So this is get cookie. This is the check cookie exists, which is not what I was looking for. I was checking check cookie content. So I opened the wrong file. Here we go. So we have our name of the cookie, whether it should check if the value matches or not, and then the expected value, and then our callback to execute when you're done. So I'm going to, here's my assertion, expect cookie name to equal the name, and then a little error message if that goes through. And then if we have a false case, then we should do some other things otherwise here. So first thing it does, it checks that your cookie exists. And then once it checks that the cookie exists, it checks that the cookie value is correct. So this is what your definition looks like. And that's how they have that all set up. So I've got my NPM. Let's see if it's installed. No, it is still installing. That is a lot of code to install. So we'll see about that. But that's the basics of how it works. As far as how it's set up, let's jump into our configuration file because I kind of want to see how they have things set up here. They do, I'm guessing they have a service. Okay, so here they're defining we only want to test files that end in .feature. They're not excluding anything. They're running it on Chrome. See, they're using sync. They're testing your local hosts, so this will need to have a local server running. They have the Selenium standalone service, which is cool. So I was thinking that Cucumber would be a service, but it's actually a framework, which makes sense because if we go, that was on the frameworks page that we looked at. That makes sense. Okay, so it's a framework of Cucumber, and then we have some options here. We're going to require specific steps. So these are the definitions that your step definitions that you want to load in. And so these files will call, you saw how I had all those requires in there. It'll go ahead and call in all of your other, actually I'll close out of that. Take a look at this. Backtrace. Okay, into source. Ah, finally installed, excellent, okay. So steps will load all the stuff from support that we have in here. Okay, so these are gonna load, which are in turn gonna load your support files. Let's see, we do run it through Babel, which is cool. Colors, some cool bunch of random stuff that I really don't know. A tag processor, I don't know. Oh, I guess that's, let's see what that is. So I'm guessing you can tag your step names. So at pending, so basically it doesn't run any pending tests. So let's see if there is pending used in any of these tests. So I'll do a at pending. Oops. That's right. So here's how it would look. You tag it with at pending so that you skip certain scenarios. So that's pretty cool. Should return at pending by default. Neat. Yeah, lots of at pendings. This will fail in Phantom.js due to security. Cool. That's what that is. So it loads those tags. Timeout. Blah, blah, blah. So here they load in chai. So even though it is Gherkin, it still uses chai for assertions. So Mocha and chai are different things, just so you know, in case you get those confused. There's Mocha and Mocha uses chai. And that's one of the nice things about the way the Mocha ecosystem is set up and the Mocha chai ecosystem is that they are separate tools. So while me personally, I use Mocha and chai together, chai is its own thing and Mocha is its own thing. So I can use chai with anything else out there. I could use chai completely independent of Mocha and it would still work. And I can use Mocha completely independent of chai and it will still work. So That's nice if you're very particular about what type of setup you want. If you're new, it's not so nice because you have to figure out all the different ways things are connected. But if it is, if you have personal preferences, then you can set those up a little bit easier in Chai and Mocha and all that. And that's the basics of their configuration file. And I just clicked a link I didn't want to click. Let's go back. Okay. So I've got this running. I'm going to look at their package.json file because I want to see if they have a local server. They have a local web server that you can run. So you do, man, why does that keep hiding? npm run local web server. So this is going to start the local web server. I mean, that's crazy concept. It just starts a basic HTTP server. This is a really cool npm module if you just want it to serve a static, a set of static files. Then you can run the HTTP server npm module, and it'll just serve all those to you locally. So if I now go to localhost 8080, then I've got my little app that I can demo. Oh, this is cool. This is, I'm a visible element, I'm an existing, I can show, can I show? There we go. I'm only visible 2 seconds after the button was clicked. Huh, that's cool. Different strings with weird things. Strawberry and cucumber, brilliant. This is neat for like a little test bed. What's this? Just an image or something? Okay, I've got that running. So now I can open a new terminal window in the same folder and run npm test, and let's see how that goes. Oh, I have these gnats in my room. It's just awful. They like buzz and they try and sneak up my nose. Just nonsense. Okay, so they've got their unit tests. I guess that's what was in the test folder, were unit test. I think that makes sense because they want a unit test. Let's see, what do they unit test? Yeah, these are all unit tests. Okay. And they're unit testing the support folder. So this would be like, should call clear element from the browser, expect browser.clearment. So browser is loaded. That's a jest is going to be like a mocking framework probably. Because it looks like you're just setting up a plain function. Browser.clearElement to have been called with element, expect done to have been called. Okay, so they're saying they want to test the clear input field function. They're going to pass in a fake element and a, oh my God, there's a gnat right on my microphone. It's because I have plants and yeah. Okay, and then here's the callback and things like that. So they pass in an element and they pass in the callback to have called, and they expect this function to have run. Oh, that's cool. They have you can't see it, but they have a little jest notification that pops up letting you know that all of my unit tests passed. That's cool. And now it's running. Oh, it starts. Ooh, I should kill this server. Sorry. It starts your own server right away for you. So that's neat. And then it runs build.conf. I've never seen that. Let's see what the build does. No, why did it go there? I didn't press anything. Okay, so this is neat. I'm actually covering this in my course right now. A way to extend configuration files. So you have your base configuration here, and you require it in, and you set it as a config, and then you add some things to it. So in here, they're not actually adding, they're replacing the capabilities, and they only want it to run in PhantomJS. And then they're also adding it as a service to load, and then they finally export it. So that's a way to have multiple configuration files that don't have all the same repeated stuff. So that is a neat concept, and it's just plain Node in there. There's nothing really specific to WebdriverIO in there. It's just all Node. So yeah, it'll take the configurations from here and then add its own. So if we looked, I bet these are all failing. No, they're not all failing. I opened the site. 5 passing, 5 failing. I wonder if it's gonna, it's not 10 tests. Okay, just for that attribute. So it lets you open it, but I think I messed things up. If I scroll up here, I'm guessing that this is going to have failed. It didn't. I was thinking there'd be an error message here, but I guess not. So I think I'm just gonna end these tests because I messed up. There we, I messed up. Shoot. Channel closed, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna end these tests. I think I messed up because I had the server running and then it tried to start the server and it couldn't start it because my server was already running, but then I stopped my server. So that wasn't great. So I'm gonna run test features just by itself. npm run test features. So now it's going to start the server. Oh, that's a smart guy. That's why this is so well organized and has its tests for its own tests and everything. Had him working on it. Brilliant. Okay, come on, you can get started. Build fails. I wonder why it fails. I'm just wasting time while I wait for this to load. So yeah, if I okay, I thought this was about to load. Man, that took forever. Where did it freak out? Oh, it's still loading all things. I think, yeah, there we go. It didn't like a missing module. Cannot find module. Is that module in the package JSON? No, it's not. So you probably want to throw that as ANSI regex. Although I'm guessing ANSI regex is probably loaded by the Cucumber framework or Cucumber itself. This is a bit of a side thing. Yeah, so it doesn't require it specifically itself. How about... There's the Cucumber boilerplate. Oh, there we go. Our test passed. That's awesome. So yeah, it was an issue with the server not having started. So running it on its own is what got it to work. And that's cool. Lots of different things. And, you know, I'd look at writing my own assertions and stuff right now, but I think my computer's just going to freeze. I think that's what we're going to do instead, is just have my computer freeze because, you know, live demos and everything. Probably going to call it a day at this point. That's the overview of the Cucumber boilerplate package. I was trying to get to look at the Cucumber service in WebdriverIO, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that because my computer is just dying, crawling to a halt, halting to a crawl, crawling to a halt. That's what you call it. I hope that I'm going to be able to stop this stream when the time comes. Oh, this is just so messed up. What did I do? Did I try and scroll too fast through here or something? I don't have that running. This is still running. Why is this still running? Oh my gosh, my tests are still running. I thought that since the 17 had passed or whatever, that the tests were finished, but they're not finished. They're still running. Maybe that's why it's so slow. No, it's just slow. It just doesn't like to do things. I mean, I could. Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. What if I close this? Can I close this? Okay. I'm gonna call it. I'm calling it. Thank you for listening along. Thanks for your feedback on how you pronounce Gherkin. Gherkin! That was CucumberJS / Gherkin. They're kind of the same thing, but just individual implementations of it. It's kind of like how WebdriverIO and Selenium WebdriverJS are kind of the same thing. They're just different ways of doing the same thing. So that's that. You finally gonna load? You're finally gonna load? Oh. No, it's just gonna close on out because I asked it to close like 10 minutes ago. Okay, so what was I saying? Is that my computer's distracting me? Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. I'll have this up on YouTube eventually, and I think next week we'll probably go through writing our own. Maybe I'll try it outside of the Cucumber boilerplate. Maybe I'll load. Yeah. Maybe I'll like clone Cucumber boilerplate and test my own stuff through it. Things like that. So thanks for joining, and I hope you'll have a good week. Bye.